All right, so Wednesday will be 3 weeks ago that I got sick, and I didn't get tested for various reasons. But the main reason is because I felt that if I went into the hospital to get tested like my doctor asked me to, they were going to keep me there because of my various health issues prior to getting sick. My children, I'm all they have. I've been all they have since the day I conceived each and every single one of them. And I've been by their side, have not left their side. But the school closure to me is a great thing for my case. I know it's not for everybody else's case. I just strictly want to talk about my case with my children. So with my children, to me, this is the best thing that could have happened for my children. I've been wanting to look into homeschooling for the past few years. It started with, my daughter getting bullied beginning 3 years ago when she was barely in second grade. And it escalated, and there's just a lot of things. And plus, I don't agree with the standardized testing and, all of that stuff. There's just so much that I don't agree with in the school systems. I appreciate and I adore everybody who works there, people's hands are tied with what, is being taught in the schools. So having my children here now, I can receive work for them, and I can sit them all four down together, and I can be there for them, and I can make sure that they're doing the work. Having four at school in all different grades, in various grades from second to seventh, it would be really difficult for me to go down to the school because of all my underlying health issues. And just be on top of them that way. So them being here, I'm able to basically be over their shoulder, control what they're intaking, control what they're learning, and teach them life skills. Before spring break was even over, I started teaching my children about home economics. Like, I was creating classes here at home that are going to be tools to help them get through life when I'm no longer here. And that's very important to me. I want my kids to know how to be able to survive, and not just survive, but thrive. I've been living the life of an entrepreneur for the past probably 5 years, if not more, maybe 6-7 years. But I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset. And 10 years ago, I was taken out of the workforce because of a car accident. But being home these past 10 years have really given me the opportunity to exercise my mind and grow my education in business. And what I have found is these same tools that I have been learning, I can teach to my children, and I have begun teaching them these business skills, the math that's involved, the language that's involved, the science that's behind a lot of stuff. And, I really want to give them the tools that they need. I want to teach them how to, do 1099 taxes. 1099, if you don't know, that means, You are a self-employed individual. You are a private contractor, if you will. And just understanding how businesses run, small businesses. I'm not familiar with larger corporations or companies, but for small businesses, it just makes so much sense, for my children to own something rather than become in debt. And I've always said, my kids, if they want to go to college, I will help pay for it. I don't require that my kids go to college. I know that my children, they're extremely intelligent, but I don't feel like I should teach my children how to become in debt when the highest, whatever field of quote unquote work that they desire to go into, going to college, that creates a debt for them. And now they're after they graduate and they maybe get a job in the field that they studied, and then they work all their lives to pay back these loans, these school loans. And I don't think that's okay. Not for my children. It's not okay for my children to be in debt. And just really having the opportunity to teach them true financial literacy and business and, math and language, and doing it in a way that is going to benefit them. I think them closing school is one of the greatest things that could have ever happened for our circumstances. I'm able to pour into my children so much more without having the stressors of the day-to-day, getting them up and sending them off to a place where there are other humans their age who taunt them or bully them or, act out in some type of way. And my children don't deserve to be treated that way in any way, shape, or form by anybody. And so if I can keep them home and teach them, our ways of learning, they're no longer exposed to those types of human beings. I also want to teach my children that you don't have to stay in a toxic relationship. You don't have to accept toxic behavior. You don't have to accept excuses from people. It is okay to walk away from somebody that is not treating you the way that you deserve to be treated, no matter who it is. No matter who it is. So, I think that them closing the schools here in Arizona for me, for my situation, for my children, I have 4 young ones at home. I feel this is the best thing that could have happened for our situation, my children's situation. They're kind of bummed out that they don't get to go back to school for the rest of the year. But there's a lot more things that I am teaching my children here, and that they're going to be able to thrive when the day comes that, mom's no longer here. And I've been battling a lot of health issues, and, there's always going to be people who don't understand or don't care to believe anything that's happening, with my health. And that's quite all right. They have that right, but the facts are the facts. I am sick. I do have a lot of health issues. I am fighting to stay above ground every single day of my life. Earlier this year, I think maybe in February this year, I was hospitalized because my heart rate was dropping. It was getting ready to stop. And they brought in the crash cart and they had the AED on my chest ready to start resuscitation on me. Thankfully, it didn't come to that, but that's how close it got this time. And that really scared me. And I knew coming home from the hospital, like I just had to even more so continue to take as much time as I am gifted with my children and pour into them as much as I can, whether it's love, whether it's education, whether it's business building, whether it's just enjoying themselves and learning how to respect themselves and protect themselves and to be able to sustain themselves. And that's extremely important to me because I do know that, when the day comes that I am no longer here, my children will have the necessary tools. They may not be of age, but they will have the necessary tools because I took this time, because this time was so important to me. I took this time to feed into my kids, to pour into my kids. My kids are the most precious things to me, and I have 6 of them. I have 2 adults. My older ones are 25 and 20. And then I have the 4 little ones. My older ones are already grown and out of the home. My 4 little ones, though, they depend on me 24/7. And everything that I can pour into my children, I am just grateful for this time to be able to do so. A lot of times it is hard for me to get out of bed. A lot of the times it is hard for me to even function longer than, a half hour to an hour. My children see that, but we get through it every single day and we don't make it a big issue. We have gotten creative with how we're able to get things done without the quote unquote disability. The physical disability is there. However, the disability of the mind has never came. My mind is 100% sharp, intact. I'm just able to, I'm just very fortunate. I'm very fortunate. And for them to close down school for the rest of the year, for me and my children, my family, it was just one of the greatest things that I could have ever seen happen. Now, do I feel that it's a very sad situation going on across the entire world? Absolutely. But all I can do is continue to pour into mine and create human beings that your children are going to want to be around and learn from. So I hope you take this time to pour into your children the same way I have. It's very important to me, and I hope you find it important to you and yours as well. Be safe, and I wish everyone well during this time. Just make the most of it and give your kids all you got because you're all they have. You're all they have. Understand that, okay? I hope everything is well to each and every one of you. Thanks for taking the time out to come over and listen to this, rambling of mine. Have a great one. Peace.